foodies, welcome to my kitchen. This is Jenny here from Jenny's Walk. So today, foodies, another exciting recipe I'm going to do for you today in the kitchen. This is where all the excitement begins, and it's my pleasure to bring to you all these lovely dishes and pastries and soups from all around the world. It's my pleasure. I just love to cook, and I just want to share these wonderful ideas with you. And as you all know, here at Jenny's Walk, we're here to learn, share, and create. So wonderful recipe today. We're going to be doing currants roll, lovely puff pastry, and I'm going to show you step by step easy instructions for all my new foodies who now learning to cook. I get all your comments, and I perfectly understand what your questions are, and I am going to go slowly, and I'm also going to make recommendations for the stuff that you do not have, like the whatever ingredients. I know whatever part of the world you live in, some of you do not have it, but it's very costly. So we're going to improvise, and I'm also going to tell you what substitute you can use. So today, puff pastry. With this puff pastry, you can use it for any pastry. It's a flaky pastry, and it don't need too much work to put together, and it's a pastry you could make in bulk and you could freeze it for the future. So today we're going to do that lovely currants roll that nobody could resist, especially in the islands and in the Mediterranean. In Mediterranean cooking, a lot of puff pastries is done. So you could use this dough, this is the base of it, and you could put together whatever you want to do. So today, currants roll. Currants roll, we're going to get some nice currants, cinnamon and sugar. We're going to do that pastry and put it together. Lovely. 1, 2, 3, and we're going to be done. So I want to say thank you all for joining me and making this dream of mine come true. I just love cooking. The passion to cook and share. Here I am at Jenny's Walk. So let's get started and see what ingredients we're going to be using to put this lovely puff pastry together. So for these here, I have 3 cups of all-purpose flour that I sieve. I like it really fluffy and nice, so that's why I like to sieve my flour. And in here I have 1 tablespoonful of salt, Himalayan pink salt. I'm going to add that in there. And here I have 2 tablespoonful of brown sugar. So that I'm going to add in there. And I'm just going to give this a good mix. This is our dough. This will be for the dough. That is all to the dough. Nothing else until we start moving on again. So now we're going to be doing our puff pastry. You're going to need, I have here 8 ounces of unsalted butter and 8 ounces of Crisco shortening. I like to mix it. If you don't have Crisco shortening, not a problem. Just go ahead and use your 1 cup of unsalted butter. I prefer the unsalted one because you put salt. If you don't have unsalted butter, use the salted one, but cut back on the salt. Maybe eliminate it completely because these things are pretty much salty. So this is what we're going to be using. And here I have ice cold water. You see that ice is floating in there? We're going to need about 1 cup to 1 1/4 cups. So here I have 1 1/4 cups ice cold water. So this is our pastry dough right here. Our flour with the sugar and salt in there, and you put this into the fridge, in the freezer. Actually, I put my butter and Crisco into the freezer for like 45 minutes, and I cut them in nice cubes. Now this is a very delicate recipe, especially the dough to put together. You cannot use the softened butter. The frozen butter is the best to use because you're going to use cold water, and you quickly have to zap it, put it in, give it a little put together. You're not going to knead this or anything like that, and then you're going to rub it a nice cling, and you're going to put it back into the refrigerator for like 30 to 40 minutes before you start rolling it out. Now the butter and the Crisco is the secret, that once it is inside the dough and you roll it out and you make and you put it in, that is when it activates inside the oven. That's when you get that nice flakiness and crispiness, that when you bite into that currants roll, the flakes is popping all over the place, messing up your lips and mustache and beards and everything. So that is where you get that crisp from. So you have to be gentle about how you're making this. We don't want a runny butter. So let's get moving before they start melting. So that is for that. That's said and done. Now for the currants. Now if you do not have currants, so it's costly where you live, not a problem. You could use different fillings. You could use raisins, tutti frutti. There's also a coconut one. That's another video another day. So here I have some lovely currants. I'm going to go in with 2 cups of currants, or you could go and see how your log is, and you will know how much currants you want to put. It's all up to you if you want a lot of currants or little currants into this currants roll. So I like to use white sugar and brown sugar into the cinnamon. So I'm going to go in here with 1 white and this is going to mix into, this is mixing together with the currants, and 3 brown. And here I have my cinnamon, my ground cinnamon. I'm going to go in nice and cinnamony taste. I'm going with 1 tablespoonful, just that. That's enough there. Are you seeing me, foodies? There we go. Now, this is optional, but I like to use it. Clove is very pungent. It's a very strong spice. So I'm going to put not quite a quarter, like 1/8 teaspoonful of that. And then I have some 5 spice, the same amount, 1/8, just to bring back a nice little flavor. Now, you don't have to do this. As I said, this is optional. It all depends what you want to do. And this now, my dear foodie, we're going to give it a good mix, just like so. And this is when we're going to add, we're going to put it in a bigger bowl, and we're going to add our currant state. So this is what is going in here. So we're going to put our 2 cups of currants in here. Here I have a little flour for dusting, and 1 egg for that egg wash. When you finish make the log, you're going to see we're going to make this, prepare this, and have it going. So let's get into the food processor. That's what I'm using today. I have my food processor here. We're going to use this blade. We're going to put our flour in, and then we're going to add our butter, the butter and the Crisco, and we're going to pulse until we get a nice breadcrumb texture. And that's when we're going to take it out. I'm going to show it to you step by step. However, my dear foodies, if you do not have a food processor or mini chopper or whatever, and you're going to go by hands, not a problem. You're going to go in, and the best thing for you to do, freeze the butter and the Crisco, keep it in that long little stick, and grate it. Yes, it sounds crazy, but no, it works. You put it for like 2 hours in the freezer, sorry, and you grate it really nice, and then you put it in, and you knead your dough with the same ice cold water, and then you're going to continue the process of what you see I'm going to be doing. So let's get on over now to that food processor. Let me just do a little pulse, and there we go. We just want to get the flour, the sugar, and the salt all together. Now, foodies, in goes the butter and the Crisco, and I'm going to zap this, pulse it. You know, we're going to give some pulse. Here you go. We have that Crisco and that shortening in there, and the butter. So let's just continue pulsing, my dear. That's all you're going to be doing. And if you're using your fingers, you're just going to be kneading. So let me continue. So foodie, this is what it looks like. It's a little crummy. It's crumbly, and it's all together there. Lovely. So what we're going to do now, I'm going to pour in slowly, little by little, and pulse now the ice water. So there we go. I'm just going to let it run a little bit. And we're going to pour the ice water in slowly. And I'm going to pour slowly like this until it comes together very nicely. So foodie, here is that lovely dough. So you just want to bring everybody together. You're not going to do any kneading. It's very cold. Just bring everybody in together, just like so. Lovely, very smooth and nice. See? Beautiful. So I have my cling wrap. So we're going to put her now into the refrigerator. Very nice. Here's my cling wrap. You seen me there, foodies? So we're just going to wrap her really nicely. And I'm going to put her into the refrigerator. We're going to take her out back like in 30 to 45 minutes. There you go. So foodie, it have been 45 minutes and my dough is really cold and nice. So I'm going to take her out from the cling wrap. There you go. I'm going to go with half first. Get that big knife. Let's take half of dough first. Let me just put this one back nicely into the refrigerator. So what we're going to do is flour your surface area, and we're going to roll this, and of course the rolling pin or the baler. I'm going to roll it up because it's a log we want. Give her some flour there. So you want a rectangular dough. What's going on here? It's very noisy outside. A lot of construction is taking place here where I live right now in the building. So let's get this nice and woken up into a rectangular shape, and I'll be right back. Foodie, here we go, a lovely rectangular. So here I have now that currants, and we have the sugar. Now we're going to just put them all in here. Now remember, with the sugar that you have in here, when the heat hits it, it's gonna get all in liquid form, you know, caramelized, and it's gonna get gooey. So you don't want to really put any more butter in here, which I see some recipes they put more butter. So making sure you get the cinnamon and the sugar in there. There you go. We're not going to go too much on the ends because remember, we want to fold those ends. Now you could put as much as you like. You like a lot of currants, medium currants, little currants, how much you want. You go ahead. It's all your preference. Remember, foodies, there's no right way and there's no wrong way in Jenny's Wok. It's all about you and how you cooking for your family members. What you want to eat in your palate. So fix it up really nicely. So this is a non-stick, but I still want to spray it because I know when that sugar starts leaking. And I have two little sink here and here, and I know my log, there's my log. My log will just fall in there. So what we're going to do nicely, this is a big job, my dear foodies. So let me take all this jewel off. I'm going to put some flour in my hands. Now, these are little tricks we're going to use. Clean it off now. There's no lotion in there because this is going to touch me. Okay, my hands is clean. Because I know my foodies are going to start to complain, Jenny, what are you doing? 1, 2, 3. There we go. It worked, foodie. So this is one log. You know what? I'm going to save the other one. There you go. We did a great job. I'm going to save that other log to make another day. So now let's get the egg wash on now. Beautiful. So foodies, here I have 1 egg white and half a tablespoonful of water. Agua, H2O, pani. What else? Water. Little bit in there. Get it in your little pastry brush. Nice. Now when you want a glaze, nice glaze, glossy, that's the word, nice glossy, you use the egg white, and then we're just going to gloss her up really nicely, just like so. And we're going to put her in at 325. This should be like 25 minutes and she should be all done, nice and crisp. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to put it back into the refrigerator for 20 minutes before I put it into the oven. My oven is not even on, so that 20 minutes will work out really nicely there. Great job. Looks so beautiful. I can't wait to get into this. Currants roll from Jenny's Wok. Currants roll at its best. So let's put it into the refrigerator for 20 minutes while our oven is getting all warmed up at 350. So here you go, foodies. I just took it out of the oven. Nice, crisp, really lovely. Now this is optional. This is just sugar and water, like a little glaze. If you want to glaze it, it's fine. If not, not a problem. Just brown sugar. You hear all that char. It's still hot. Nice little rub on there. While it's very hot, you could do that. So I'm going to take it out from here and put it on my rack and let it cool. Because I don't want it to sweat to get wet on the bottom. So let me get this out. This kitchen smells marvelous, I must say, with all this sweetness going on. Wow. Ooh, there you go, slowly. Awesome. Just get this out of the way. And here you go. Here is that lovely log of currants roll from Jenny's Wok. And I'm going to wait and let it get cool really nicely, and then we're going to cut into it. Flaky pastry, anyone? Here is currants roll. So come on into Jenny's Wok and let's see how to put this lovely currants roll pastry together.